obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I hope you all are well. Welcome you all to His Holy Chandramauli Maharaja's daily call. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I'm glad it is something making you smile.
You're making me laugh.
That's nice. So today's verse is Shrimad Bhagavatam, second canto, 10th chapter, and verse number 17. And the name of the chapter
even,
is Shrimad Bhagavatam is the answer to all the questions. If you're ready, Maharaj,
even the
okay,
even the
your
gopis
volume
get
is, or maybe
bewildered.
it's my side actually. Volume is very low. I've increased now. Thank you. Yes.
Even the gopis get bewildered sometimes.
You bless me so that I go back and become a gopi. And that's a very high ambition, but
I already blessed you when you became bewildered, so I guess the next one is gopi.
thank you. Thank you, Maharaj.
I'm sorry, you're so funny.
It's good at least something is making you happy and smile, and you're always smile and laugh. So that's so
A
nice.
lot of things will make me happy, but some things are really, hilarious. You would be good as an actress in a play.
Really? Yeah, I tell everyone to include me in the drama, but they don't.
Yeah, you can be one of these gopis that's lost in the forest.
Maybe after the last
Try-
dance. I know. I used to do acting a lot when I was young in my
Are
university.
you still doing it?
No, I'm not. Oh God.
Now it's happening.
Maybe it'll be nice to act in Krishna's drama.
You would be perfect. You could be Satyabhama.
Oh God. Krishna. Um,
Okay.
Oops, sorry, my
Mm.
YouTube is still open, so I'm just to come out of YouTube. Just give me a second. Maybe I'm
You're
sorry.
just proving what I'm saying is correct.
I know. Um, I, okay, I'm back now. I'm back with you. I'm sorry for the delay. See. I'm sorry, Maharaj. As hopeless case as I am. Or
Okay. It's okay. You okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Um, Satyabhama.
yes, Maharaj.
So I'm gonna chant the verse, and then we're gonna ask devotees to chant the verse also.
Sure, sure, Maharaj.
Mhm. Anyone who wants to come forward and chant the verse can chant the verse also.
Should we do it three times,
Om
Maharaj, after you have chanted, or just one?
Everybody chants it. They can chant it once.
Okay, that's fine, Maharaj. Thank you.
Actually, they can respond to my word for word. I'll do the word for word, and they can respond, and then maybe one or two can chant after. We'll do the like we do in Bhagavatam class.
Sure, Maharaj. That's fine. We'll do that.
We'll just try it and just bring the devotees into the chanting, because when they chant, they get more into the mood of the sloka. Okay, Prananakshipata Shutrin Antarajayate Vibo Pipasato Jaksastascha Pranmukam Nira Bindyata
Devotees, anyone?
Pranena.
Okay,
Yeah, let the
Prani.
devotees. Yeah,
Yeah.
anybody want to?
Devotees, anyone would like to chant the verse, recite the verse?
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. I could.
Yes, please go, Prabhu.
प्राणेनाक्षिपता क्षुद्रद् अन्तराजयते विभो पि- पिपासतो चक्षताश्च प्राण्मुखं निरभिद्यते.
Good. Anyone else?
प्राणेनाक्षिपता श्रुत त्र्यडन्तरा जायते विभु पिपासतो जक्षतश्च प्राणं मुखं निर्भिद्यत.
Thank you, Ashutosh Prabhu. Anyone else? Yamuna Jivan Mataji, you had your hands raised. Do you want to recite the verse?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Go ahead.
प्राणेनाक्षिपत क्षुत्रत् अन्तराजायते विभो विपासतो जक्षतश्च प्राण्मुखं निरभिद्यत. Hare
Right.
Krishna. Thank you, Guru.
Maharaj, are
very-
we okay to have few more, or just should we move to word now?
No, keep going.
Kalindi Mataji and Sridevi Mataji, please go ahead.
प्राणेन क्षिपतक्षुद्रत् अन्तराजयते विभो पिपासतो जक्षतश्च प्राण्मुखं निरभिद्यता.
Very good. Anyone else?
Sridevi Mataji.
प्राणेन क्षिपता क्षुद्रत् अन्तराजायते विभोः पिपासतो चक्षताश्च प्राणमुखं निरभिद्यत.
Good. Very good. Anyone else?
Yeah. Last Shiv Kumar Prabhu, you want to go ahead?
प्राणेन अक्षिपताक्षुत्रेत् अन्तराजायते विभो पिपासत जक्षत च प्राक् मुखं निरभिद्यत.
Good. Okay. Okay, now we'll do word for word. Pranena
प्रणेन
by the living force.
by the living force.
Akshipata
Akshipata
being agitated.
being agitated.
Shut
Shut
hunger.
hunger.
Thrit
Thrit
thirst.
thirst.
Antara
Antara
from within.
from within.
Ayate
Jayate
generates.
generates.
Viboho
Vibho
of the supreme.
of the Supreme.
Upasata
Vipasata
being desirous to quench the thirst.
being desirous to quench the thirst.
Yakshata
Jakshata
being desirous to eat.
being desirous to eat.
Cha
Cha
and
and
Rak
prak
at first.
at first.
Mukam
Mukham
the mouth.
the mouth.
Niravidyata
Nirvidyata
was opened.
was open.
Translation: the living force, being agitated by the Virat Purusha, generated hunger and thirst, and when he desired to drink and eat, the mouth opened. The process by which all living beings in the womb of the mother develop their sense organs and sense perception appears to follow the same principles in the case of the Virat Purush, the sum total of all living entities. Therefore, the supreme cause of all generation is not impersonal or without desire. The desires for all kinds of sense perception and sense organs exist in the supreme, and thus they take place in the individual persons. This desire is the nature of the supreme living being, the absolute truth, because he has the sum total of all mouths. The living entities have mouths also. Similarly, with all the other senses and all organs. Here, the mouth is the symbolic representation of all the sense organs, for the same principle applies to the others also. Om Gyantimidandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimakte Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudamani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavari Pastyatya Te Satarine Pavancha Kalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Rebacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Sometimes people say that if a tree falls in the forest and there's nobody there, will it make a sound? Because there has to be the receiver of the sound for the sound to be generated. There's no receiver of the sound. You might question whether there to be a sound or not. But the answer is the Lord hears everything. He sees everything. He's within everything. He's without everything simultaneously. So everything starts from the Supreme. And we have a mouth and eat because he has a mouth and he also eats. We have ears and hear because he is the source of our ears and that sense of hearing also. So the point is being made here that everything starts from the Supreme Lord and filters down in the form of the creation to the living entities. Without without Krishna having senses, the living entity cannot have senses. But Krishna has senses. His senses are transcendental, but they are senses. And we also have senses. And our senses can become transcendental, but in the material sense, they are mundane or act in an ordinary way. But still, we have senses. So as they say, as above, so below. So Prabhupada would also speak about this point, that everything starts from God, and therefore the creation unfolds, and the material, the living beings in the material energy are prototypes of Krishna, especially the human form. We're speaking about the human form particularly. Krishna has a head, 2 arms, 2 legs, and also many senses, and he has activities. We also have the same thing. Krishna has friends, we have friends. Krishna has mother and father, we also have mother and father. Of course, he adopts mother and father simply for the sake of his pastimes, but still, we understand he has a mother and a father. And we also have all of the same thing that is manifested in the spiritual, but the difference is one is mundane and full of difficulty and suffering. The other one is transcendental and the source of unlimited happiness. So therefore, in a real sense, we are simply what we say examples or prototypes of Krishna, both in the male and female gender. You see the female gender is also in the spiritual world, headed by Srimati Radharani, who expands herself into all of the Shakis, all of the Sakis, all of the queens, all of the different living entities who have female forms. She is the source, and Krishna is the source of all of the male forms. But also, Krishna is the source of the female forms because he's the source of Radharani also. So everything has form, everything has activity, everything we see on this level is there in the spiritual world, but it's perfect in the spiritual world. Here, it's just in the shadow example of the reality. But the living entity, as a pure spirit soul, also has a form. Krishna has a form, and we are part and parcel of Krishna. How can we be without form when our source is full of form? Just like the Father is the source of the child, and the child comes from the Father. So the Father, the Son, or the child is simply very similar to the Father in many ways. So in the same way, we are prototypes of the Supreme, and we also have transcendental form on the spiritual platform also. We're not aware in our conditioned state of our transcendental form, but we have one. The soul has form. The soul is Satchidananda Vigraha. Vigraha means form, eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss, and transcendental form also. So this is just an example of how everything we have here is simply generated from the spiritual realm and manifests itself in the material world in a different context, you might say, a different energy. Where in the spiritual world, everything is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. Here, everything is temporary, devoid of knowledge, and also full of misery. But still, everything has form. So this is basically the essence of this verse. So we can go on to the next verse. Verse number 18.
Would like someone to
Mukhatasthavirvinam tavatantro bhajayate tato nanarasa gyagye jivayo yo digamyate. Translation. From the mouth, the palate becomes manifested, and thereupon the tongue was generated also. After this, all the different tastes came into existence so that the tongue can relish them. Okay, the gradual process of evolution suggests the explanation of the controlling deities, Adidaiva, because Varuna is the controlling deity of all relishable juices. Therefore, the mouth becomes the resting place for the tongue, which tastes all the different juices of which the controlling deity is Varuna. This suggests, therefore, that Varuna was also generated along with the development of the tongue. The tongue and the palate, being instrumental, are abhibhutag forms, or forms of matter, but the functioning deity, who is a living entity, is Adidaiva, whereas the person undergoing the function is Adhyatma. Thus, the three categories are also explained as to their birth after the opening of the mouth of the Virat Purush. The four principles mentioned in this verse serve to explain the three main principles, namely Adhyatma, Adidaiva, Adibhutam, as explained before. So yeah, then there's three. There is the tongue, the taste, and he who is tasting. There is the ear, hearing, and he who is hearing. So these align with these three principles: the person, the matter, and the experience, or the principle of activity. So this is very technical, but basically what it says here, Varuna is mentioned because Varuna ultimately is the god of water, and water generates taste. And from water, taste comes. Without water, there's no taste. And he's a demigod, but he has that service to generate along with the development of the tongue. So again, everything is coming from the original source, which is ultimately Krishna manifested through his different energies. And as it comes down to us in the different functions of the living beings and their activities also. So this is just basically giving you the understanding. Avrata Rupa is an imaginary form of the absolute truth, which patterns the elements of the universe. So if you were to look up at the universe and imagine the different places in the universe as different parts of the Lord's body, that would be the Virat Rupa. And that'll be further explained in this series of verses here. So we can go on to the next verse. Vikvakshor mukatam bhumno vagnirvag vyahritam tayaho jala chaitasya suchiram nirodam samajayata. Translation: when the Supreme desired to speak, speeches were vibrated from the mouth. Then the controlling deity fire was generated from the mouth. But when he was lying in the water, all these functions remain suspended. Now we're talking about the Virat root. And so when the Lord desires to speak, then we can also speak. And controlling deity that is generated, fire is the principle of form, and therefore it's mentioned here. Purport: the peculiarity of the gradual development of the different senses is simultaneously supported by their controlling deities. Okay, so each deity controls a particular sense. And these are the different demigods. I'm talking about our senses. It is to be understood, therefore, that the activities of the sense organ are controlled by the will of the Lord, through the demigods, of course. The senses are, so to speak, offer a license for the conditioned souls who are to use them properly under the control of the controlling deity deputed by the Supreme Lord. So here goes. So we get senses. If we use them in the right way, then we can live happily. One who violates such controlling regulations, there are regulations for how to use the senses, has to be punished by degradation to a lower status of life. Consider, for example, the tongue is the controlling deity, Varuna. The tongue is meant for eating, and men, animals, and birds each have different tastes because of different licenses. The taste of the human being and that of this pig or swine are not on the same level. The controlling deity, however, awards or certifies a particular type of body when the particular living entity develops a taste in terms of the different modes of nature. So even within the human species, we have different tastes. If the human being develops taste without discrimination, as does the swine, the pig will eat anything and everything, then the controlling deity is certainly certified for the next term to award him the body of a swine. The swine accepts any kind of foodstuffs, including stool. And a human being who has developed such indiscriminate taste must be prepared for a degraded life in the next life. Such a life is also God's grace, because the conditioned souls desired a body like that for perfectly tasting a particular type of foodstuff. If a man gets the body of a swine, it must be considered the grace of the Lord, because the Lord awards the facility. After death, the next body is offered by the superior control, not blindly. A human being, therefore, must be on guard as to what sort of body he is going to have in his next life. An irresponsible life of indiscrimination is risky, and that is the declaration of all scriptures. So the verse goes on, karma, daiva, netrena. And material energy will award a body according to one's karma in the previous life. And here the element of food and taste is being highlighted. Now, every particular species has a particular taste given to them, or a particular type of foodstuffs given to them. Just like if a person desires to eat meat and eats meat all their life, they may be in the next body, take a body of a tiger. So they can eat meat naturally and enjoy blood also. So to fulfill the desire of the living entity, the material energy works in such a way through the agency of the Supreme Lord, whose agents are the demigods. So we have our allotted foodstuffs, and Krishna mentions that in the Bhagavad Gita. The allotted foodstuffs are mentioned for though there are foods in the mode of goodness, food in the mode of passion, and food in the mode of ignorance. Food in the mode of goodness is meant for normal human beings, such as milk and milk products, grains, legumes, fruits, vegetables, and one more. Like that. So these things are given to the living entity for their foodstuffs. If we violate that and we eat foods in the mode of passion, which are very hot, pungy, and spicy, or excessively filled with various types of spices and chilies and sugar, we might find ourselves getting a body in the next life. Just like ants, they love sugar. So if we chase after sugar our whole life and find sugar our most important, we might find ourselves in the next life having a body of an ant because we have violated our license. Because everyone is giving their foodstuffs according to the type of body they have. If we like to eat meat, as I mentioned, we get a body of a tiger like that. So that's mentioned in the 17th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. 3 verses, Krishna explains foodstuffs in the mode of goodness, foodstuffs in the mode of passion, and foodstuffs in the mode of ignorance. So everyone has their allotted foodstuffs, and if we follow that, that's fine. But ultimately, for devotees, we don't accept any food within the 3 modes. We accept only prasadam, that are food that is offered to the Lord, and then it becomes prasadam. Prasadam means the mercy of the Lord, which nourishes not only the body and mind, but elevates the consciousness towards Krishna and spiritual life. So prasadam is meant for those who have accepted the process of devotional service. In fact, everyone gets punished if they don't take prasadam. Just like there is a verse in the Bhagavad Gita. What is that verse? Yagnartha kamano local yam kanma bandanaha. No, that's not it.
Annat bhavanti bhutani.
No, not that one. It's next to that verse, the preceding verse from that one. 3:13. Turn to that verse. 3:13. Okay, yagna shashtito shanto munchate sarvakil bisai. Bunchate te tagam papam ye pachat atmakarana. So, translation, the devotees of the Lord are freed or released from all kinds of sin because they eat food which is first offered for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for sense enjoyment verily eat only sin. So this is one of the fastest ways to go up or down in life. If we accept the foodstuffs that are offered to Krishna in devotion, in the mood of service or honoring those foodstuffs, we elevate our consciousness. If we eat simply to satisfy the palate and not care what it tastes like, just as long as it tastes good, then we get a reaction for that. And even when devotees violate and eat food that is not offered to Krishna because for whatever reason, it's tasty or whatever, they also find it very difficult to practice their Krishna consciousness. Their minds become disturbed because they get a reaction for eating outside of the recommended process. So eating is very important in terms of it nourishes the body, the mind, and the soul. And therefore one should eat according to how, in other words, one should accept food that has been first offered for sacrifice. You see, even in a very, what we say, ordinary way, people grow up in families in different cultures that when people sit down before they eat, they say prayers to the Lord. I grew up that way. We would always say, we called it grace. We'd say grace before we ate our food and honoring the food as a gift from the Lord. Although the food wasn't offered to the Lord, there was still some element of appreciating that the food ultimately comes from the Lord. But prasadam is offered to the Lord, and therefore it's purifying. And therefore one should follow that very strictly. This is a very important principle, and not accept food outside of that. Even if there are certain things that you like, then arrange for it, as long as it's within the category of acceptable offering, then you can offer it to the Lord and take that. Sometimes people like certain things like potato chips or something. All right, so it's not the best, but sometimes people get addicted to eating certain types of food. It's better to accept only Krishna conscious things, but sometimes you find yourself somebody gives you some snacks to eat or something like that. So, but before you take it, you always offer it, at least in your mind, to the Lord. And that way there will be no reaction on the material level. So it's a very important part of our Krishna consciousness. Okay, so we'll stop here and open it up for discussion.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you for covering so nicely. You covered 3 verses. First, you mentioned about that Krishna is a personal form, same as ours, but Krishna has spiritual body, but ours is material. Then you explain Adideva and Adhyatma. And in the 3rd verse, you mentioned that we get our next body based on our desires. So thank you for nicely explaining this. Devotees, if you have any questions, comments, realizations, please unmute yourself and ask. And it'll be nice if you can keep your cameras on, so it can be a nice interaction between all of us. Thank you.
We also have a spiritual body too, aside from our material body.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, our spiritual body is our real body. Our material body is just some dress. Krishna explains that in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita. As a person changes garments from day to day, the soul changes bodies from life to life.
So Maharaj, we get the next material body. We don't get unless we. Also, there is a question. So, Shridevi Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So this description of how the mouth forms, how the tongue forms, how the palate forms, how the various senses are generated in the child or any creature in the womb, this is applicable only to the Jiva souls. Even though the Virat Purush is the origin, he doesn't develop one by one. He always has had them and he is eternal. So therefore, there is no question of developing all these sense organs for Krishna because his body is transcendental and he is always the way he is. Is that correct?
Yeah, when you talk about Krishna, or you talk about any of his transcendental forms, the Virat Roop is simply a universal form of the Supreme Lord.
So the Virat Roop is also something that
imaginary.
forms according to Krishna's. Okay.
It's imaginary for the materialists, so they can understand that God has a form, although they can't understand or will not accept his transcendental form. They can accept that the universe also has form, and the different aspects within the universe, such as mountains and trees and different types of vegetation, align themselves with a different part of the body of the Lord. The oceans are his belly, the bones are his mountain, the mountains are his bones. The hairs on the body are the trees. But this is just an imaginary form for the sake of the very basic principle of understanding God conscious it's not for devotees. It's for the materialists. But what you say is correct, yeah.
Okay. So this Virat Roop manifestation, which happens by the Lord's will, is only to show that he is the all-powerful one to Arjuna, as well as to other materialists who may either try to imitate saying, I'm God, in which case we say, okay, show us your Virat form, and to establish that he is all-powerful.
Yeah, that's for the non-devotees.
Okay.
Arjuna asked it
Thank you.
for the non-devotees, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
if somebody says they're God, ask them to show their universal form. If they can't show it, then you know that whatever they say is just a hallucination.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shridevi Mataji. Any other questions, devotees?
What is Ananda Gopika doing?
Yeah. Maybe I think it's a problem with a mobile or something. I'm not sure. There must be something on her mobile which is
It just
black.
keeps flashing.
I'll stop her camera maybe because it's disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it can. Oh, she's walking outside maybe.
Okay, leave it that way.
Yeah, that's fine. So while we're waiting, Maharaj, I wanted to just continue the question. It was you mentioned about that we also have the spiritual body, but is it at the same time when we are carrying our material body, or is it? No.
We don't have a spiritual body. We are the spiritual body.
So it's based on the soul. You're saying that
You don't understand that basic point?
basic
That
point is in
you are a spiritual being when you have a spiritual form. You're not this body.
oh yes, okay, in that sense, yes, yeah.
What do you mean in that sense?
I
You're
thought
not
as in
this.
spiritual body, as in spiritual body, when we leave, when we go back home, that is the time when we have the spiritual body. I was thinking in that sense
No,
that
you have it now, but you can't. It's covered
yes,
by the
okay,
material.
understand
You
now.
see, the soul has form.
Yeah.
You just think you're just some little firefly flying around making light. It's not like that. You have a form, but you don't know your form until you come to the point of self-realization. Then you can understand your swarup, or your transcendental form.
Thank you, Maharaj. That makes sense to me now. Understand. Okay, are there any questions, devotees? So we have covered 3 verses, and I'll just go back maybe. If there are no questions, should we ask questions then? Maybe should we have a...
You just get, I see people are thinking.
Okay,
so just,
that's fine then.
Satyabhama, just chant one round, relax.
Okay.
There'll be a question within a few seconds. So, 2 questions came up.
Okay, brilliant. Yes,
So,
Suresh Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to your Prabhupada. This is a kind of karma kanda question, I guess. In the text, it was saying how Varuna is the presiding deity over the tongue. So if you had a sickness on your tongue, like maybe cancer or something, should you then pray to Varuna?
You shouldn't pray to anybody. So just chant Hare Krishna. That's all. we don't pray to demigods when we get sick. We either go to the doctors and get some medicine, or we just depend on Krishna's mercy and continue on our devotional service. Devotees don't ask the Lord, "Oh, Lord, I'm sick. Please get me well again so I can get back again and go out to the movie every Friday night like I used to go before I got sick." When you get sick, you just chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and then you work to get yourself well by some medicine or something. That's all.
Thank you very much.
Varuna, what is he gonna do? He manifests the principle of taste because he's the god of water. That's him. Without water, there's no taste. And the tongue is the element for taste. Shiv Kumarji.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranams Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So Maharaj, I had this one question, Maharaj. In this chapter, we see that the creation of the knowledge and working senses and sense objects all seem to be explained in line of Lord's desire. Like Lord decided to do this, Lord decided to do this, and then these things got created.
Right.
But we
Right.
understand, Siddhantically, we understand that it is Jiva's desire that he wanted to enjoy material nature and it got created by the Lord. How do we understand, Maharaj, our Siddhanta against this?
The Lord is fulfilling your desire, but you cannot fulfill your desire unless you have the senses and the situation to fulfill your desire.
Okay.
So everything starts with the Lord.
Okay.
As I said, the material world is simply an the prototype or a shadow or a reflection of the spiritual world. Everything is the
Okay.
already have senses, you already have a mind, you already have a transcendental body. That's your spiritual. So when you desire to come here, then Krishna, through his energies, creates the material world for you to perform your activities.
Okay.
And all of the instruments you need are also generated along with the material world. Because if you study creation, go to the third canto, you see how the material world manifests itself. In the 26th chapter of the third canto is a very elaborate and very detailed explanation of the whole manifestation of the different elements and the senses and the objects of the senses and how they generate one after another in the form of the creative energy.
Okay.
Krishna is so kind because you want to be separate from him. He says, all right, then you can't be with me because you don't want to. You want to be separate. So I give you a place where you can act out your desire to be separate, and that's the material world. But it's very similar to the spiritual world in the sense of the activities.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
He's giving you a shadow of the reality. That's all.
Yes, ma'am.
Gives you a body which is not you.
Okay.
But you think it's you. You look in the mirror and you say, "Oh, I look so nice." You never saw yourself. What you're seeing is something you think is you.
Okay.
Somebody shows you a picture of what you were when you were a little baby. You think, boy, I changed a lot.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
You didn't change. It's just that the material energy it develops in different forms of itself. That's all. But the soul is completely aloof from all of this. The soul doesn't touch. It's told that doesn't touch matter. But the soul is being dragged.
Yes, Maharaja's network seems to be slow.
Yes.
So just have patience. Maharaj will be back soon.
Yes.
Maharaj got disconnected. We'll just wait a few seconds. We'll log back in hopefully soon. We'll do one round of japa by that time.
Okay, we have another question.
Jai Maharaj is back. Haribol. Yes. Is Shivkumar's Prabhu's questions answered, Maharaj? Or you want to say anything else?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Shivkumar Prabhu. Rajan Priya Radha Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all the devotees. Thank you very much for being here. Guru Maharaj, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. When you were explaining about our truth, our real form, I remember I had a dream long time ago, and it was something very beautiful. I was in my local surroundings at that time. I think it's about 10 years ago. And I was in a meeting, normal meeting, karmic meeting, I mean. And suddenly someone that I didn't know approached me. And it was a man. He stopped me and told me, look up. And I did it, and I saw lots of colors going out myself. And he said, these are the colors of your soul. And it was really, I don't know, surprising for me to have that dream. The thing is, the question is it possible in dreams to have messages, but real messages?
Hmm. This is a very complex situation. Some dreams are just putting together different experiences that we have on the waking level. They come together in a dream form. Just like Prabhupada said, you see a mountain and you see gold. And in the dream, you see a golden mountain. So some dreams are just different material experiences we have that come together in a very, what we say, spontaneous way and form some kind of pattern. Other dreams are messages coming from the super soul to give you some understanding. Other dreams are just dreams cannot be put into one category, you know. Other dreams are just our material desires being expressed within the dream. Just like someone may want to enjoy something, but they can't enjoy it on the waking level, or they tried, and then all of a sudden they experience it in the dream. So that desire is there within the mind and in the heart, and then it manifests in the dream, and one fulfills that. Just like sometimes people have sexual dreams because they have that desire, and then it doesn't manifest on the gross level, but it manifests on the dream level. So that's the desire within the living being, and it's expressed in dreams like that. So dreams are can be categorized in different ways. If you dream of Krishna, if you dream of the spiritual master, then those dreams are just as good as if you were to experience Krishna and the spiritual master on the waking level. But the quality of those dreams is that the spiritual master and Krishna act only the same way they would normally act on the waking level. If you see something different, say your spiritual master says, hey, jump into this nice Ferrari and we'll go driving all around Spain, then you know that's not your spiritual master. That's some ghost who took the form of your spiritual master. So the guru doesn't do anything different in the waking level or in the dream level that's outside of Krishna consciousness. So I can't give you an interpretation of your dream, but take it for what it is. It's a nice experience and move on. But what's important is what we do in the waking level. That's the most important because that's where we are accountable for.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thanks, Bridget and Priya Mataji. Very nice question.
Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj.
Sri Devi.
She did. She did.
Haribol, can you hear me?
Yes, we can go.
Guru Maharaj, speaking of dreams, I wanted to ask some question. So, Amritana Mataji was sharing some things with me here just after the Kirtan Mela, and I was giving her some tips on how to handle the situation and all. Next morning, very early morning, I got a dream in which you are giving her some advice, and I'm in the next room, but I can overhear everything. So when I met her, I told her, in this dream, Guru Maharaj was giving you this advice, but I don't know whether you should take it so seriously. You better check with Guru Maharaj if this is, in keeping with what he would really advise. Is that correct, what I did?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Did she like the advice or not?
Yes, she thought it was very useful. I myself downplayed it. I said, look, my words could be wrong, my interpretation could be wrong. You please check with Guru Maharaj. But she's saying, I see some value in this, but I will still check with Guru Maharaj. I said, yes, that is the right thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, you became the medium, that's all.
Thank you, Shri Devi Mataji. Any other questions, devotees? If
Okay, we can stop here, I guess. We did 1 hour. But
yes,
let's see. I have see some thoughtful looking devotees out there. Looks like somebody might ask a question. We can take maybe another 5-10 seconds and see if anybody comes up with a question. If not,
sure.
we can hear.
Yeah,
Yes,
Prashant does.
Raj Hari.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. My question is with regards to dreams. I mean, you kind of said that your unfulfilled desires is what come into dreams.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never had Krishna coming in my dream. So how should I think about it?
Well, still, I mean, doesn't mean you shouldn't try to become Krishna conscious. You never know. I mean, there's people who never dream about Krishna, but still they become Krishna conscious. If Krishna wants to come in a dream, he can. If the spiritual master wants to come in a dream, he can. So going to get that mercy, and another type is not. You can't say like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very something that it's unpredictable. The Lord will appear or not appear by his own will. And sometimes for some people, he doesn't appear in dreams, but he appears in their waking hours by guiding them. Sometimes people who get dreams need something more powerful for them to move forward in Krishna consciousness, trying to move forward, but they can't. So, Krishna he's the person who chooses, or he manifests his spiritual master in the dream.
Mm-hmm.
But generally, if you have dreams about the spiritual master or Krishna, you shouldn't speak about them to people in general, or even devotees in general. You should only speak about it with your spiritual master or someone on the same level of your spiritual master. I mean, I have many experiences with people who've told me about their dreams. And one time, one person was saying Prabhupada appeared in their dream. I said, no, that's not Prabhupada. And they were insisting it was. And then they had another dream, and that same Prabhupada that they thought was Prabhupada was doing something very crazy. And then they got the message it wasn't Prabhupada. There's a lot of subtle beings out there, and they can enter into your consciousness if you are weak. If you're spiritually weak, you'll be susceptible to entities entering into your consciousness. If you stay strong in your Krishna consciousness, they can't get in. Sometimes they cause disturbances on the external level, but they can't get within your consciousness. But for a weak person, sometimes they completely take over a weak person, and the person is acting completely different according to the being that they're being possessed by. It's like people who take intoxication, they're possessed by some spirit, some being. Keep yourself strong, and then you'll always be connected with Krishna through the process of bhakti, which he'll guide you through devotees, he'll guide you within the heart, he'll guide you through your intelligence, he'll guide you in different ways. If you stay strong in Krishna consciousness.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
And there are devotees who are very strong in Krishna consciousness, and they're being attacked by outside beings who are demoniac in nature, but because of their spiritual strength, they're unaffected. You have to understand this is Kali Yuga, so there's all kinds of unembodied beings, both what we say uh, divine and demoniac, who are floating everywhere in the atmosphere. And the demoniac, or even the ordinary ones, are looking for some body to inhabit so they can fulfill their desires through that person's body. So stay strong. And one of the easiest ways to stay strong is eat only Krishna Prasadam. Because when you eat food that is not Krishna Prasadam, you'll be subjected to these entities. Because that's how they get into your consciousness, through food.
Thank you, Maharaj. I hope that answers your question, Brajaridas Prabhu.
Okay.
Ka-
Kali?
Kalindi Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. All glories to you. My humble obeisance is at your lotus feet. Maharaj, how to understand from Bhagavad Gita 5.20, situated in Brahman, 5.19, situated in Brahman and situated in transcendent. Are they both same, Maharaj?
What's the verse?
5.19, already situated in Brahman and already situated in transcendent. Are they both same, Maharaj?
This is Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, Bhagavad Gita.
5:19, Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, yes, Maharaj.
Those whose mind are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman, and thus they are already situated in Brahman. So here, read the purport, it explains. Equanimity of mind is a sign of self-realization. They've conquered the material conditions. They're not moved by happiness and distress. So they're not attracted to anything material. So when they're not attracted to everything material, they are flawless, like the Brahman realization. Brahman realization is the preliminary stage of spiritual realization. It's not the complete stage. So yeah, don't worry about that. That's not for us. What is for us is to be established in equanimity. That's important. Not moved by happiness and distress, not attached to anything in this world, not averse to anything in this world. We spoke about that the other day. The waves of material energy just move things along, and one is faced with different situations. But one stays fixed in their duty, is not moved by happiness and distress or by the changing elements of the material energy. The soul becomes fixed in its own spiritual realization. The mind drags us this way and that way. We have to control the mind and fix the mind on devotional service or on the lotus feet of Krishna. And then if you fix your mind on the lotus feet of Krishna, and you can maintain that, then you have reached Brahman realization. And if you develop that even more, you go all the way up to Bhagavan realization. Preliminary stage of Krishna consciousness. This is just preliminary stage of Krishna consciousness, that's all. Love of God is the complete stage.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Gauri Priya.
Hare Krishna, dear Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the Vaishnavas. Dear Maharaj, I just wanted to give a question just regarding what you was telling regarding the entities. So one of my friend often, coming some sounds like burps or something like that during the chanting, mostly of the time. And she says it's because of the entities. And of course, I had the vision that it's simply burping due to a problematic gallbladder. But after what you just said regarding the entities, I started to have doubts. So many people go through exorcism in the Orthodox tradition, but how does it happen in our tradition? What is the best way to get rid of them if they are coming?
Well, that's
these
mentioned in the
entities.
Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, when Krishna had killed Putana witch, everyone became alarmed that such a powerful demon had come to harass Krishna. So they start giving Krishna little kinds of blessings. But Prabhupada comes back to the point that by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and being fixed in the chanting, these entities, if they're there, they'll leave, and if they're not there, they can't get in. The holy name will protect you. But you have to be able to chant nicely and chant regularly. If you're chanting inattentively, you may still find yourself undergoing difficulties. You have to chant with attention. So the holy name is the elixir or the medicine for all problems on all levels. Chant Hare Krishna, and you'll always be protected from outside influences, both subtle and gross also. That's why we have to That's why chanting is not simply to be chanting all day. That's what it means to be a devotee, to remember Krishna all the time. And the easiest and recommended way is to chant Hare Krishna. We can chant anytime. You can chant when you're eating, you can chant while you're walking, you can chant while you're working. You can chant anytime. As Prabhupada said, 16 rounds on the beads, innumerable rounds off the beads. This is our process. We should not stick with the basic rules and regulations as the standard for our practice of Krishna consciousness. That's just to get us established on the transcendental platform. But development means expansion of all of these. More chanting, more reading, more association, more service, more, until you're full and there's no gaps in your consciousness.
Just can't wait for that, Guru Maharaj. By your mercy, we'll all get there someday.
Well, whatever you got, give it to others.
Oh, that's great answer. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Bhagavan Chaitanya Prabhu. Our class is not complete without you.
No, Maharaj. It's all your mercy. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Vaishnavas everywhere. Guru Maharaj, today you talked about the importance of prasadam. We know that very well. It's one of our basic tenets. Now, whether a jiva, be it a tiger, a mosquito, or a human, acknowledges it or not, food comes from God. So this is remarkable that just by acknowledging it, it becomes spiritual. By acknowledging the source, that's what we do. Is when you take prasadam, is acknowledge and offer it back. It becomes spiritual. It's remarkable and amazing. Can you please talk again about the importance of this basic tenet?
Well, you're right. If there was no rain, there would be no food. And rain is not manufactured by us. Anan bhavanti bhutani parjanya anasambhava. That by sacrifice, rains come, and by grain, they produce grains. And grains are the livelihood of the living being.
Guruji's Maharaj's network is just a bit slow. Maybe. Thank you for your patience. Maharaj has dropped off. He will join soon, hopefully. Maharaj is back.
Yeah, so we do an ordinary level. So, well, we should acknowledge that everything is coming from Krishna. We should be grateful for that. And the acknowledgement is just the beginning of bhakti. It's not even bhakti.
That answers your question, Bhagwan Chaitanya?
Yes, thank you, Maharaj.
Sakshi Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So I just wanted to have a clarification on one statement which you just said, and that is, when we are overwhelmed with material happiness and material distress, what we are supposed to do at that point of time. Should we just try to control our mind and focus fully on devotional service, or what? Can you please let me clarify?
Well, you have to get a hold of your mind and your emotions. If your emotions are like a roller coaster, then you're like a leaf thrown in the wind. So we sit down, we eventually you can start to deal with the situation you're in. You can't deal with these things when you are emotionally being thrown this way and that way. You can't solve any problems on that level. I mean, the karmis, they use different techniques when they find themselves in that, such as resetting the nervous system through breathing exercises. That also helps, but it's not the solution. It just gets you to a point of becoming a little bit more thoughtful rather than being driven by your emotions that keep moving from side to side, up and down. You can't see a situation when you're being thrown by the situation. You have to slow down, settle. So, yeah, for instance, Satyabhama, go to Nectar of Instructions, verse number 7. Nectar of Instructions. Somebody can read that.
The holy name, character, pastimes, and activities of Krishna are all transcendently sweet like sugar candy. Although the tongue of one afflicted by the jaundice of avidya, ignorance, cannot taste anything sweet, it is wonderful that simply by carefully chanting these sweet names every day, a natural relish awakens within his tongue, and his disease is gradually destroyed at the root.
Word, now note that word. Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Keep going.
Yes, so, Sakshi Mataji Maharaj has asked you to look at the verse. Nectar of Instruction 527. I think it was 27. Number 7, sorry, not 27. 7. There are only
Srila
10 verses.
Prabhupada also said, when I'm what is that? When I'm agitated, I chant loudly. That's a formula too. Chant loudly. Because that loud chanting will encompass the sound vibration nicely. And then you can gradually enter into that sound easy. And then gradually you'll start to become more calm and fixed. Can't solve anything when you are being thrown by the thought process. You have to slow down and settle, focus your mind. And to do that, careful chanting is the remedy. Careful. Loud chanting too. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Try to keep a pattern in your chanting. Don't switch patterns in the cycle of chanting. It'll make it hard for you to enter into the chanting. Keep a nice pattern of chanting. Keep the pattern going and just focus on the sound and make it loud enough where it absorbs your whole consciousness. It's a nice formula. It works. I was in a few very difficult situations where I needed to do something, and I started chanting very loudly, and pretty soon the whole situation changed. Not pretty soon, it took a little while, but it works. Careful and loud. Loud means that so the mind doesn't get in there with its crazy thoughts. You push the mind out. It says that if you chant loudly, ghosts, demons, and politicians run away. Yeah, that's a statement too. That's from scripture. You keep them away by loud chanting. Gauri Priya is really laughing. It's a fact. These three work together. They're pretty much the same. All three.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. This was really very instructive. Thank you.
Yeah, you got to be. You're just too sweet and peaceful. You have to sometimes, turn on the energy there and just go for it. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna save me.
Thank you.
That brought a smile on your face, Sakshi. That's very nice. Maharaj is so kind and merciful. Thank you, Maharaj. It felt like she was going to cry. I'm glad, Hari Bol. Keep smiling.
Satyabhama, you're so sweet.
Aw. You're sweet, Maharaj. That's why you see sweetness in me. I'm not sweet at all. You ask Vrindavan Dham, he will tell you.
Well, you're like chocolate. Sometimes chocolate's bitter and sometimes it's sweet. But right now, it's the best chocolate.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so stop.
Okay. Yes, we can stop now.
Probably go into the store and start buying some chocolate. Okay,
Thank
so
you
we'll
so
see you
much,
all.
Maharaj, for your time and association. It's always so inspiring and it's just uplifting our consciousness day by day.
Srimad Bhagavatam is the answer.
Jai.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Satyabhama Master.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank-
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Guru
Guru
Maharaj.
Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Hari Hari.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Jai
Mataji.
Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Mataji.